All right. So you can read the whole story here in the question. Make sure you read and understand what the question wants. It's very, very important. Like, for example, you've got the word court, right? You've got a center. You also have a cyclic quad. That's very important. So in this question, you have those very important geometry terms, right? So you've got cyclic quad, you've got center, you've got a chord. Okay, you also have a midpoint. Okay, all that information we need to use it to answer this question. Okay, it's a proof. So if you look at the question, you are supposed to prove that FC is parallel to OD. Okay, now for you to be able to prove that two lines are parallel, either you have to prove that there are angles that are alternate, there are angles that are co-interior, there are angles that are corresponding, therefore they are equal. If they are co-interior, they add up to 180. Sometimes you may need to use the midpoint theorem or the proportion theorem to prove that the lines are parallel. Okay, so if you look at this whole question, it's FC, this is F, and that's C. Then you have got OD, that's D there, right? And you can see that here, CB is equal to DE. So it's CD rather, CD is equal to DE. And it's indicated that the line is bisected, which means you have to use the converse of theorem 1. Okay? So where I'm going to start is by saying, this question I'm going to start by saying, make sure you pay attention carefully. Remember, I want to prove that FC is parallel to OD. So all I can do for this question here, because FE is a diameter, it means that this angle here is going to be equal to what? 90. Also, if I use theorem 1, this angle here is going to be what? 90. If I use the converse of theorem 1, which means if I prove that D1 is equal to C1, I can say, therefore, FC is parallel to OD because corresponding angles are what? Are equal. You can also use co-interior angle by saying D2 plus F plus C1 is equal to 180. But in my case, I'm going to do it using corresponding angles. Okay, I'm going to repeat what I just said. If you are asked to prove that two lines are parallel, identify alternate angles that are equal, corresponding angles that are equal, co-interior angles that are supplementary, which means they add up to 180. Sometimes you may need the converse of the proportion theorem, or you might need the midpoint theorem from grade 10. So it will depend on the question. Okay? So here, the way that I'm going to start by saying C1 is equal to 90 degrees. My reason, angle in semicircle. Alright? That's where I'm going to start. Okay? C1 is equal to 90 degrees. Why? It's an angle in the semicircle. Now remember, this theorem, angle in the semicircle, is one of the center theorems. Okay? It's one of the center theorems. Right? Then I need to use the converse of theorem 1. Why the converse? Because if it's indicated that a line is bisected, you use the converse. If there's no bisection of line indicated, but there's a 90-degree angle, then use the original theorem. That's the difference. So you need to be very careful when you use the theorem 1 and when to use the what? The converse of theorem 1. The two are very tricky. You can make a mistake of using the other one and it's the opposite. So here I'll say, the way that I'm going to write, I'll say D1 is going to be equal to 90 degrees. My reason, line from center to midpoint of chord. Line from center to midpoint of chord. Okay? not perpendicular to chord. If you say perpendicular to chord, that's theorem 1. So here we have to use the convex, because we are told that the line is bisected. Okay? Once we have got these two, I'm almost done. Now, the way it is marked here, it will be statement, 1 mark, reason, 1 mark. Statement, 1 mark, reason, 1 mark. So you can have 4 here. The minimum that you can get based on what I've written so far is 3 marks. Maximum what? 4. What I have written so far. Out of these 5 marks, you can get a maximum of 4 based on what I wrote here, or you can get a minimum of what? 3. Right. Once I have these two, then I'll move on to say, next step, let me do it on top. Then I'll say, therefore, FC is parallel to OD. My reason, corresponding angles equal.
So can you write C1, D1, and using something
C1 is equal to D1. No. Don't say they are supplemented. They are not. They are equal. If they are supplemented, the same they add up to 180. But how is that going to help you to prove that those two lines are parallel? It won't help you. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles.
So corresponding
Okay?
corresponding angle
They are equal. No. Okay. Okay. They are not adding up to 180, but they are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. So you can talk about this. Anybody have any question? Okay. Then the question, then let's move. So we need to prove that angle DOE, that is G, this is O, and that's E. So we are talking about this angle. Let me indicate the here. So DOE, that is this angle, it's equal to BAE. So BAE is this whole angle. Okay? So you're supposed to prove that those two are equal. Right. I want you to be aware that in the question, we are also told some very important information in the original question that AFBC, it's a cyclic quad. Okay, be aware of that. AFBC is a cyclic quad. Okay, so we're talking about this one here. It's A, F, B, C. It's a cyclic quad. All right. Now this is 4 marks for you to be able to prove. We're supposed to prove that this angle is equal to that angle. That's what you're supposed to prove. So, how did you do it? Those who did the question. How did you do it?
Yeah.
So listen, when I'm teaching geometry, I don't want to rush to, at this stage, I don't want to rush to give you an answer, right? You need to tell me what came into your mind when you saw that question. How did you approach it? Or how did you attempt to do that question? Like, I hope you are aware that at this stage, if you want to prove that those two angles are equal, you might need to do a bit of some thinking, maybe try similar triangles. Okay, if that doesn't work, then for this question, if you want to try similar triangle, then you have to identify a triangle that is going to look similar to triangle called DOE, which means you may need to prove that DOE is similar to BAE. Once you prove that the two triangles are similar, then you can conclude that therefore those two angles are equal because of corresponding angles. So because of corresponding angles that are equal. Okay? Remember the corresponding angles of two similar triangles are equal. But let's analyze it. We have proved that this angle is 90, that's 90. Do you agree with me that C2 is also 90?
Yes.
Now, if AFBC is a cyclic quad, right? It is a cyclic quad based on the question. It means this angle here is going to be equal to that angle. Angles in the same what? Same segment. Okay? It's going to be angle in the same segment. Okay? Are you following that?
Yes.
But then, that means this angle here is going to be equal to 90 degrees. Okay? It's going to be 90. Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be 90. It's going to be 90. So if this angle is going to be 90, right? Check this out. If you look at triangle ABE, it's going to be a right angle triangle. Am I right?
Yeah.
And triangle ODE is also a right angle triangle. And they share a common what?
Yes.
They share a common vertex, therefore they have a common what? Angle. And both will have the same angle, which is equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, this angle is going to be equal to that. But how you write it down now is very important. Okay? So what I'm going to do, for this question here, you may need to provide more information than necessary. Okay? For you to be able to get those 4 marks. It is better to provide more information than less information, especially when you are doing geometry questions. Okay? So this is where I'm going to start. I'm going to start by saying C1 is equal to C2. Okay? C1 is equal to C2. My reason for this is that they are angles on a straight line. Both are equal to 90, I can write that. Let me write that they are both equal to 90. Right? And my reason here is angles on a straight line. Okay? Because I already proved that C1 is equal to 90, so I'm not going to worry much to write it down because it's in the previous question. Okay? So C1 is equal to C2, they are both equal to 90 because they are angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line are supplemented. Okay, then I'll say, in actual fact, I can use exterior angle of the side part, but here I don't want to go by that way. So I'll say C2 is equal to angle ABF. ABF, okay, which is equal to 90 degrees. My reason for this is going to be angles in the same segment. Okay? So C2 is equal to angle ABF is equal to 90 degrees. Right? Then angle ABE, okay? Angle ABE is going to be equal to angle ABF. And my reason for this that they are going to be both equal to 90 degrees based on sum of angles in a triangle. Angles on a straight line. What? Angles on a straight line. I need someone to ask a question here before I carry on. Is there anybody who has got any question so far for what I've written down? You following? Huh? Yes. Okay, right. Then, once I've done that, I now know that angle ABE is 90. Okay, ABE is 90, so I'm going to identify two triangles, right? Two triangles. I'll say in triangle ABE, in triangle ODE, then I'll list the corresponding angles. Then the third pair, which is going to be, which I'm going to have at the bottom, that's the one which is going to be equivalent. Then I'll prove it, right? I might need to use similar triangles at all. So my next step will be to say in triangle ABE and triangle ODE. Okay? In triangle ABE and triangle ODE. Okay? Check this. Now ABF is equal to D1. Okay? ABE is equal to D1. D1, both are equal to 90, is equal to 90 degrees. And the reason that I have to give here, okay, they are going to be equal to what? To 90 degrees. Alright? What could be the reason? Okay. I'll say both angles equal to 90. Because I have proved that. Okay? I proved that. So this is number one. Number two, I'll say angle E is common. Okay? So angle E is what? Is common. Right? Then, once I prove that these two pairs of corresponding angles are equal, I can say, therefore, I don't need to prove the similarity part to prove that the two triangles are similar because they are similar based on these two statements. They are similar. But that's not what the question wants. It just says prove that these two angles are what? Are equal. So I'm going to say therefore DOE, because we are only left with one pair now. Do you see that? Am I talking to myself or what? Listen, I have proved that this angle is equal to that. I have also proved that this angle here is a common angle. It therefore means that this angle here is equal to what? To that angle. Okay? So that's what I'm going to write down. So I'm going to say therefore DOE is equal to BAE. Therefore, angle DOE is equal to BAE. My reason here, I can write it as third angle of a triangle. I can say sum of angles in a triangle. Okay? And please, this is not the only way of doing it. If you want, you can even use similarity to do the question. But I'm not going to bias it as I want to stop. I'm done. So those four marks, you can get them from something that I wrote here together with what I wrote on this page. Okay? Some questions you may need to provide more information than necessary. Okay? For geometry, in order to get full marks. If a question is got 4 marks, it's better to provide maybe 5 steps, we want at least 4 statements and 4 reasons. You can't provide 3 reasons and then 3 statements, then you expect to get 4. No. Okay? Any question? Do you have any question? If you don't have any question, then let's do the next one, which has got 7 marks.